Someone pissed me off today, or at least the title of this blog post, Ryan Gets Angry, is what it's about. So it was actually last week, but I'll talk about it as if it were today, reading this article. I can't even remember the last time I was this irritated or mad. It was stupid because I don't know, maybe call it frustration. I'm at the squat rack and about to do my fourth set. I'm about maybe 3 to 4 feet away from the barbell, and my fourth set of pause squats, right? And as I begin to approach the bar, this guy cuts right in front of me and walks across me like I wasn't there. I won't say I lost it, but I did feel my emotions rise, and I got irritated. I was thinking to myself, what a freaking jerk. I did consider walking up to the guy and telling him, giving him a piece of my mind, and just, I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. I just know I was irritated. I was just irritated. But I just brushed it off, and what ended up happening was I got under the bar, had 330 pounds for a fourth set of 4, 330 pounds, a pause squat, and it was probably the easiest I've ever done. After I was done with my set, I was standing about 4 feet away from the bar, and the same guy walks and cuts and crosses for me again like I'm not there. So I had no choice but to react. It's kind of what happened. I said, "Hey man." He pauses, turns around, takes one headphone out of his ear, and I tell him that was pretty rude. He nods, mumbles something I can't understand, puts his headphones back on his ear, and turns around and walks away. And I'm thinking, what the fuck, right? I was angry, but I was still fairly composed. I watched him walk to the water fountain, then do some dips on the dip bench, and then I made my way to approach him after he was done. Dude, I was about to do my set, and you walk right in front of me. Okay, yeah, no big deal, but when you walk right in front of me again, I mean, that's twice, no consideration. My tone was stern, but I wasn't yelling, and then I walked away. As I walk away, he manages to sort of whisper or mumble, "I'm sorry." You would think that once you get something off your chest that it would make you feel better, and I guess it did, but I was pretty amped up at this point. I was just about done with my workout, but I had some extra aggression that I wanted to outlet, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do some block pulls, right? And I'm going to take this negative energy and unleash it on some more heavy lifting." And the purpose of this was really to turn something negative into something positive, right? That's the idea. Then about 5 minutes later, the guy walks out of the locker room. He sincerely apologizes. He asked a question that totally disarmed me. He said, "Do you have a YouTube channel?" Because he notices the camera, right? If there's one thing you could have asked me at that moment to diffuse my built-up frustration, it was that. We talked for a few minutes about the YouTube channel, and we shared each of our aspirations. He knew me fairly well, and he knew a local YouTuber who has a good following with what's his name, Matt Ogus, Chris Lovato, or Yucky Lovato is known as. It was a pretty short exchange, but awkward for me. I had 500 pounds set up on the blocks, ready to annihilate weights, and I get the equivalent buzz kill or turn off. It was, if anger were Viagra for heavy lifting, his apology was the equivalent of some ridiculously strong and rampant erectile dysfunction that counteracted its effects. The value of self-awareness is priceless. It's in these type of moments that I learn the most about myself. When your temperament is tested, you can either continue to repeat the same mistakes in the future or glean some value from them. Something you learn doesn't have to be new. I was just reminded by how less tolerant I am when people around me don't have manners. When I'm working out, more specifically, although I was fairly level-headed, my emotions took control over a seemingly trivial matter. I can't say I regret my reaction, but it's fascinating to me how life has a way of translating into a spectrum of emotions based on how we interpret events in our life. Instead of being numb and oblivious to life events, I choose to absorb the seemingly mundane things and appreciate the positivity and negativity of them. That doesn't sound like a bad philosophy. When When I get angry or frustrated, I'm the type of person that goes searching for how to solve the problem. It feels like a puzzle that needs to be solved. My method of solving it is always a discussion, teaching, or a learning opportunity. Physical force due to anger is rarely a good idea. The only situation I see where force is appropriate is in self-defense. Outside of that reason, you're either going to hurt someone or hurt yourself, or probably most likely both. Anger or rage before a heavy lift is like a clean or deadlift. It might help you. That's fine. What I found with anger, if you're going to have that sort of emotion, frustration afterwards because of a missed lift or technique is merited. But when I see someone kick the barbell after a missed clean, which I've seen before, I can't help but shake my head in disbelief. You know, you use the anger to kind of power your workout. You don't get mad afterwards. I guess it's okay, but if you just take it out sort of impulsively, it's just, you damage equipment, you could hurt somebody else. It's just stupid. Too many opportunities of risk, basically. Asymmetrical risk or reward. You have frustration, you let it go on whatever equipment or the people around you, and you risk something. Punching or kicking a wall, throwing an object like a plate or a phone in rage is madness to me. I get this happens. I get that this happens sometimes, and I can relate to making bad decisions. I've made my fair share. Everyone has been a child at one point, and as a 7-year-old, it might be difficult to keep it together. Emotions like anger are so easy to manage when you're not upset. It's so easy to see someone do something due to anger and just call that person stupid. However, as any experienced human being would know, when you're in the thick of it, it's easier said than done. So when I have conversations with my friends, sometimes we would propose a situation and ask, what would you do? And my reply is always the same or similar. You really don't know what you'll do until you're actually in that situation. Sure, I can say what I should do or do the smartest thing, but we are humans, being that we're emotional creatures. It's easy to say what you should do, but quite often what you should do, you don't. It's because we are. It's not because we're bad people. It's simply because we are human. Depending on the circumstance, we will do something out of, our usual character for all kinds of emotional, logical, and illogical reasons. What would you do if you found out you only had one year to live, right? What would you do if you could never deadlift again, right? One of my favorite lift. What would you do if your significant other left you? It's easy to play the what if game, but you don't really know until it happens to you. I guess this is what it means to have an unshakable character, much similar to the Peter Principle in business management. Here's the quote here's a quote I wrote that's pretty profound, that I got from, who was it? John. I'm drawing a blank. Never Let Go is the name of his book. No one ever rises to the occasion. An athlete falls to the level of their training. Oh yeah, it was Dan John. That's who it was, Dan John, that said this. When it comes to acting out of anger, one could say that one falls to the level of their character. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that reading of my article. If you like this kind of stuff, check out my blog at ryansaplin.com, R-Y-A-N. I'll just link will be in the description. Have some other content. I just haven't had any ideas lately. So if you're listening this far, you like the content I create, leave a comment below, and I'll see if it interests me, and I'll make a video about it. Because someone made a comment, and that someone requested that I made a video about it because it was interesting to me, and it was interesting to them, and it was helpful for everybody. So anyways, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.